Hey guys, this is Jake at Canadian Cutting Edge, and I've got a little video for you, not really a review. It's of this knife. This is a traditional knife of the peoples that live in the northeastern part of Russia. And these are Khatan knives. That's the brand name. They are, I think, pretty much only on Instagram. I'll put their details down below and maybe on the screen as well. And this is their traditional type of knife that they use in that area. They've used knives like this for, hundreds of years. And they do a couple of interesting things with it. The handle shape is very much like a lot of, Northern European, Asian kind of knives. And it feels really good in hand. But the blade's got a couple of unique things going on with it. I'm not going to do any testing. I'm not going to give you a bunch of measurements or anything, just a couple little ones. And let's put this on the tabletop and fulfill a curiosity. So Roman from my channel, one of the viewers, sent this to me to review and then send back to him because he had it custom made for himself. It's his knife, but just wanted to let you guys in on these knives. Keep watching. Now, just before I get into this, I am going to be doing a knife sale, and that video will first go to my Patreon supporters. I'll let them have first dibs at it for 24 hours, and then I'll make that video public to everybody else. And I'll have, very clear, straight terms and conditions for that sale. So I need to, our garage sale just went terrible. We didn't make very much money at all. So I need to get some knives sold before July. So if you're interested, keep watching this channel. The sale video is probably going to be coming out on Wednesday. One thing I want to tell you before I get started on this, Joseph, one of my viewers in Florida, he has a TS Prof sharpening system that he's barely used. He ended up buying a high-end belt-driven system, and so he's got a TS Prof for sale. So if you want a new TS Prof system that is barely used and a good discount price, email me and I'll send you on over to Joseph so that you can talk to him directly and if you want to buy his or not. So now let's talk about this knife. All right, when you get your package, if you buy something from these guys, it comes in a box like this, and there's their name, Khatan Knives. And there you are. They've got some paperwork in here. Let me take this out. There's a sticker of their business logo. There's some of their information and their phone number. And I can't read any of that. And it comes with a certificate that it is a tool and not a weapon. So it's made in Russia. And so they've got a numbered certificate system. So weapons, they're not allowed to export, I guess. But there's a lot of Russian knife makers, so I'm not sure what all the different rules are. But for, this is a small custom forge, basically, that we're talking about. And I looked through some of their pictures on Instagram. Most of their knives are very much like this style, except for this is a little more rustic. You can see that there's a section here where they've taken away some steel, and so it's like a divot, like some steel's been removed. So you can see, especially when I move it back and forth this way. And they've got some more, I guess, more highly polished versions. I don't mean that the steel's more polished, but where this groove here is very, very pristine and very beautiful and consistent and doesn't show any hammer marks or tool marks on it. This side here of the knife, here on the spine, you can still see some tool marks up here and a little bit down there. And, it's sort of like a clip point. But what we have is, if you filled this in here, this little trench that they've got, basically what you'd have is a chisel grind. This side would be flat, and this side is curved down. So sort of like a chisel this way. And the reason for this material removal is the same thing why they have little divots and hammer marks on a lot of kitchen knives. If you're cut through a piece of cheese, the cheese often sticks to the knife on the side of the knife, especially if it's a flat grind. Well, this, keeps the material that you're cutting from, having that adhesion to the blade. So that's quite cool. They've got, that's real, I don't know what that is, tusk horn of some kind of animal or something. This is a nice burl, this wood, and the metal comes back about 2/3 of the way. And it's a very good knife in terms of how well it actually functions once you get used to it. You've got a slightly convex grind on this side, and then they've got just a little bit of a micro bevel on this side here. So it's fairly sharp. I don't know how much Roman has used this knife, so I don't know if he's dulled it at all from use. It's not that super sharp in this area right now, but close to the tip here, it's fairly sharp. I can cut, most things fairly well. Let me get a piece of paper here. So you can hear it catching in a few places. It's not cutting great right now, but I'm sure it has cut very well in the past. And see near the tip there, it's much sharper. I'm not that fond of this highly polished look, the reflective look on steel. But if that's what you like, that's what you can get. I don't think that they do that always. I guess you could get it a little bit more rustic look if you'd like. I don't even recall if this is a carbon steel or if it's a stainless steel. I'm more interested in the more traditional part of it, like what it's like, the shape of it. And so I like this design. I haven't seen this very much, how it's flat on this side and then that cutout. That's quite interesting to me. And very comfortable in hand because of the way you have that shape on this handle. You always know where your edge is. You can index it very well. It's thick enough back here, to have some thumb force if you need with it. The spine, it's not square enough back here to strike a ferro rod. I'm sure they might have systems sometimes where you could have a ferro rod system attached to this. There's a little bit of a strap here. Now, I've seen some pictures on their website where you can get a case for this. This is like a neck carry type of case, or you put that on your belt. They also have cases for the same kind of knife to wear scout style, in the small of your back. I don't believe this is actual, a foot of some kind of animal. I think this is all wood right here, and it's just, the transition mark here where they changed how they painted it to give this black look on the end. But there is, a hole on the end clearly, so if water does somehow get in there, it's going to drain out. You can just see the blade on the side here a little bit, I think, depending on how I turn it, if the light gets in there just right. This is not my main camera. So my main camera that I lost in Atlanta, like I said in that video, was found. It's just going to take a few more days to get it back to me. So I'm sorry about the video here, the video quality not being the best. So I didn't get the prices from Roman or anything. You can go on to the website or the Instagram page. I've got it listed down here and down below in a link. And it looks like the guy does some pretty good workmanship. And if you want a knife made in the old way of people from different countries, this one being, northeastern Russia, not the far east of Russia. There's a couple, there's some states that are right on basically the border of Alaska. This is one state, one state inland, but they have that North Siberian coast. So these are, cold people, lived off of reindeer and stuff like that, who designed these, but not in, maybe not reindeer. I don't know if reindeer is not part of the, maybe reindeer are just more in Northern Europe. I don't know. I'm talking out of my backside, maybe. Whatever kind of critters they used to survive on, obviously fish, because there's some pictures of them taking fish apart with these kind of knives. But I think it's a very versatile knife, and if you're interested in getting old school knives from various parts of the world, this might just be one that you're interested in. And remember, I'm not going to be making videos for July because I'm going to be visiting family in Southern Ontario. And I won't be making many more in June either because I'm just feeling sicker than a dog and it's taking forever to get over this. I know it sounds like I'm feeling just fine on the video, but that's the magic of video. Thank you for watching. Thank you for liking, sharing, commenting, and subscribing. And remember, guys, always cut towards your chum, not your thumb.